Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is, what if she is telling the truth? What if she's telling the truth? Now, I do not know that she is, and I'm going to start with a disclaimer. Here's the disclaimer. First of all, I'm not speaking bad of this man, nor any of his companies, and I do not know if this is true, and I'm not necessarily saying that he is the Antichrist, nor a forerunner of it. This is a prophecy program, and this sort of relates, so I'm going to bring it to the people. But again, I'm not attacking anybody here. Okay, here we go. So this is what the lady says. Now, I'm going to let you read that here in just a second, and I'm going to actually play a clip of her saying this. So she says, I asked Imelda, and I said, is he the Antichrist? She didn't blink. She said, no, but he will present the mark. And when you see him do that, the Antichrist will take the stage. Okay, the boy's name then was, and I'm going to say that word. You have to read what I'm showing you there. Okay, now, here's the clip of her actually saying it.
When I was a girl, I was in San Francisco. I was procured and sent to work for a family. There were 3 generations. There was a boy, the boy's mother, and the boy's grandfather. They were coming from Africa, and because of something the boy did something very dark when he was very little. And then one day I asked Imelda, Joaquin's mother, I asked Imelda, I said, is he the Antichrist? I was 13 years old. She didn't even blink. She said, no, but he will present the mark. And when you see him do that, the Antichrist will take the stage. Now here we are, 40 years later, boom, that boy is the star of the world. The boy's name then was, but it's changed over time.
Okay, so she says the question is he the Antichrist? No, but he will present the mark, and when you see him do that, the Antichrist will take the stage. You know, that's a very, very big statement. I do not know that that's true, but I'm saying it's something to watch. We're watchmen, and so let's watch. Now, if you want to find that clip, here's where you can find it. You just do a search of those words, and if you want to, you can type down that exact location, and you can find that clip and make your own decision. But for today, let's look at what if she is telling the truth. So I looked up the word, and I'm not going to say that word, but you see the name says the highest God. So I looked up, what does this mean in the Bible? It means the highest God. You know, I would be afraid to name one of my children a name like that. I would just be afraid to. That doesn't say anything bad about him, but maybe it gives us a hint. But there's more. One of the things that has bothered me for a while about this company, that last letter in their name right here, I've always thought, it's always kind of been in my spirit, that kind of looks like a cross as in what Jesus was hung on, laid over, like it was broken down. Okay, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just a design. Maybe it's not. Maybe the lady is lying. Maybe she just had too much tea. On the other hand, maybe she's telling the truth. But I'm going to show you a couple of things I think are interesting. So I looked it up. I looked up this word. Did a little research. Didn't do a whole lot of research. I'm not going to do a whole lot of research. Probably now I'll get all kinds of research at AskStan@prophecyclub.com. But one of the articles said, and this was actually the man quoting it, it's interesting that my first name is also the name of the first name of Jesus Christ. Again, I would be afraid to name my children that name. Now, maybe it means nothing. Maybe it means a lot. Maybe the lady is telling the truth, and maybe it'll come to pass. Nevertheless, it's something for us to watch. This is what I'm talking about. So is that just an X, or is that maybe something more? So I looked it up. Another thing, if I'd spent billions of dollars to send satellites, people into space. I might call the orbiter maybe Michael, maybe Bible, maybe church. If I'm a Christian, I'm going to call it a Christian name. I would not call it the word dragon. So, if you want to know what dragon means, here's what it means. Go to Revelation 12:3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, behold, a great red dragon, meaning Satan is the red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. I'm not going to interpret that right now. His tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven, did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman. This was when they were trying to find Jesus when he was born, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So this is the classic case of the dragon trying to kill Jesus. This is the battle between darkness and light, between good and evil, between Lucifer and Father God, Ancient of Days. Another scripture says, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. This is in the middle of the tribulation. This is when the great dragon is cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world, is cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, if I was a Christian, I would not call something I had made dragon, if I was a Christian. Now, if I really wasn't a Christian, if I really hated Jesus, then I might call him dragon. And I might call some of my work, maybe like something I sent up into space, a dragon. But if I was a Christian, I would never do that. Now, again, I'm not speaking bad about the guy nor his company. Here's another example. The dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Here it's talking about Satan. Verse 4, they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who can make war with him? And where's it heading? Well, I tell you where it's heading. It's heading to the mark of the beast. And there beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. This is the false prophet. He spake as a dragon. Skip down to verse 16, and it's the classic verse. He, meaning the Antichrist, he causeth all, by the way, specific as also the image of the beast, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, receive a mark in their right hand or their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell. Now, hang on. Remember, I've been talking about this right here is going to be our new money system. You mark my word. You see if I'm not right. Our digital money system is going to be based upon the cell phone. That cell phone is going to link up with satellites. What's the name of those satellites? Well, those satellites are Starlink satellites. And what do they link to? They link to a quantum financial computer. And who created that quantum financial computer? Oh, well, it was benevolent extraterrestrial galactics, or what we call demons. Okay, so demons gave us the computer that is going to tie together with our cell phones to be our new digital currency. And this is the guy that put up the Starlink satellites, that has what appears to be a cross knocked over, and what is putting up part of the satellites is a dragon. Oh, but he doesn't mean anything bad by that. Probably wasn't him. Probably just some of his people said, hey, let's call it a dragon. They just pulled a name just out of the air, just pulled a name out of the hat. Doesn't mean anything. Or maybe it means everything. Maybe they know exactly what they're doing. Maybe this guy was named Son of the Highest because he has something very special he's going to do. Maybe he will bring in the mark. Now, I don't know that he will, but maybe he will. Now, I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not saying anything bad about him. But as watchmen, I'm saying it's time for us to watch. So we watch this guy. We watch and see. Now, I don't know if she's telling the truth. It didn't sound like she's lying. And in light of all the other things, let's go on. So this is the number of his name. That's actually is a 666. That might be what it looks like. I've showed this several times, and hopefully this gets into the hands. You need to send this out to your friends, neighbors, or relatives. Send it to people so that when it happens, they can come back to you and say, okay, you have my attention. This is basically a 666 nested. But what it really has a meaning is Okay, first you do some bad things, and then you get caught in this whirl, and you get closer and closer to the very center. And just like in the book Morals and Dogma, written by Albert Pike, on page 21, I believe it is, it says Lucifer is the light. Okay, so now we know Jesus is really the light of the world. But Antichrist doesn't mean against Christ. It means in place of Christ. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be sitting on the throne, the Ark of the Covenant, the golden throne of God, and he wants to be proclaimed God. He wants people to worship him, even if he has to force them. That's his. He sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Now, I pulled this off Japanese television, showed it last week. What is that? Right here. Look, right there. That is the number of his name. Why is it that they show it on the guy right on the forehead? Because this is subliminal. It's suggestion, you see. In other words, that what they're really doing is telling us what they're planning. Headline here kind of ties in. NSA rewards a secret 10 billion. What are we doing secrets? Okay, what are we doing having contracts with secret? Okay, Jesus said, "That which I do openly." It's the devil that is the most subtle beast of the field. So when you see something done in secret, that's probably not Jesus. NSA re-awards a secret $10 billion contract to Amazon. Yeah, you know, that good Christian organization that's financing churches being built all around the world? Or maybe not. The National Security Agency has re-awarded a once secret cloud computing contract. You know, I try to tell my wife, absolutely, you never store anything on that cloud. Who do you think owns that cloud? That's a computer. And if they're giving it to you, there's a reason they're giving it to you, because they want to see what you're putting on the cloud. Everything goes to the cloud, is all tracked and monitored. You type it up, you put it on the cloud, they got a copy of it. Truth is, probably if you just put it on your computer, they still got a copy of it. As a matter of fact, a number of years ago, I can't remember where, all this stuff floating around in my brain, they put a chip on all laptops. And as soon as that laptop, wherever it might be, even if we didn't ask it to connect, if it ever connects to the internet, that chip uploads every keystroke ever put on that laptop. Now, I can't prove that's true, but it sounds right. It's probably the truth. A $10 billion contract to Amazon Web Services, codenamed Wild and Stormy. Oh, that sounds like a good Christian name for something really good. We're going to catch those bad guys. But you see, you're the bad guy. Because if you have Jesus in your heart, you're the bad guy. You're the problem. Let's go on. So somebody sent me this. Now look at this careful, and you're going to be shocked at where this is. If you look at it really careful, it says the Satanic Temple After School Satan Club. Now isn't that what everybody needs to join? The Satanic Temple After School Satan Club. Look carefully. Look closely at it. What do you see? Before I point it out to you, can you spot it? Do you see? You see, you should be able to spot these things very quickly. Hopefully. Do you see it? All right, now I'm going to show you. Here's the black and white drawing, and look. Wow, what is that? That's the number of the beast, 666. Why would they have that on an after-school satanic club? Maybe because that's his mark, and maybe they know it. Some people knows it, but there's more. Do you see? There's more. What else do you see? I'm going to give you a hint. There's 3 more 6s on there. Do you see it? 1, 2, 3. You see it? And then if you really look at here, see, there's another one. All of this is subliminal, you see. They're getting us ready to accept it. Here's where it comes from. And you can see it's at the satanictemple.com. thesatanictemple.com. This is the After School Satan Club. That's where I pulled that from. Oh, man. I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. That's talking about America. This should not take place in our nation. That shows you how far our nation has fallen. Another article, where the guaranteed income movement is going next. It says, by the way, this is from Microsoft Start. That was on the page, msm.com. It says they're trying to bring about these guaranteed income programs that give cash, no strings attached, to a specific group of people, low-income parents. What's this really all about? This is taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Or another way you could say is taking from the folks that want a job to those people that don't want a job. What do you call that? It has a word. It's called communism. Guaranteed income is similar to, but not quite the same as, universal basic income, whereas universal basic income aims to offer enough money for a basic subsistence living to every single adult. What's that? That's what they do in communist countries. To a more targeted group of people. This is communism. This comes in because we have fallen away from our God. This came to me in an email, 4/28/2022. Sandra says, yep, 30% price increase now hitting East Coast. She says many farmers have had to take a full-time job, and many have sold off their farms over the last 30 years due to tough environmental laws. The blueberry jam for my mom was $4.95. Yesterday it was $6.99. 18-ounce package of blueberries, $4.25 normally, but now $6.79. There was a huge flower section, 6 foot high, in the store last month, but now it only fills the two bottom shelves about 3 feet wide. Meaning there is a food shortage coming. All of these problems come upon us because our God is not among us. So I'd suggest you start making preparations. First thing you need to have is you got to have air for 3 minutes. No air for 3 minutes and you're gone. You got to have water. Can't go more than 3 days without water. Can't go more than 30 days without food. So I suggest you have something to filter your air, something to filter your water, and something to make certain you have food to put in your mouth. Headline, a series of mega disasters could make this a catastrophic year for food production in the United States. Stan, hadn't you already covered this? No. No. This is a new article you sent me. In the last several weeks, farmers in the northern plains have been battered by blizzards, winter storms, high winds, extreme flooding. And it has delayed farmers from planting in high-producing crop regions. Every week plantings are delayed. The harvest yield shrinks. The global food supply chain is fracturing. The West is in the grips of a climate, no, I'm not even going to say that, is in the midst of a drought. The largest man-made reservoir in the country and a source of water for millions of people has fallen into an unprecedented low. The lake's plummeting water level has exposed one of the reservoir's original water intake valves for the first time in history. The West is in the worst drought in centuries. From 2000 to 2001 was the driest year for the region in 1,200 years. Now, I don't know how they found that out 1,200 years back, but nevertheless, they're saying it's real dry. All of this says no food. The agency said more than 21,000 wildfires have burned over 1 million acres since the beginning of this year. That's above a 10-year average of 14,000 wildfires. Who do you think started these? It's Scalar Wave, brothers and sisters. It's Scalar Wave. What do you think? This is the Moloch and Baal worshipers. They have Scalar Wave down in their underground, little secret hideouts, the little mole rooms, and they use it Scalar Wave, which can make large areas of the atmosphere very hot or very cold. It can cause tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, droughts. It can make things like the shuttle probably was born up. I don't know, probably blown up by them. A lot of things. They can take out anything in the air, on the land, under the sea, any place on the globe, anytime they want to, with very little residual of who did it. They can make fires. If they wanted to, they could start a fire in your home. This is what we're dealing with. Evil of the evil of the evil. Moloch and Baal worshipers. Goes on to say, Texas, due to the extreme drought and high winds, Lancaster County, 18,000 birds are being destroyed in hopes of curtailing the virus's spread. The flu that infected 247 domesticated commercial. Okay, so how do you get birds across the nation to all come down with the same flu, the same disease, and have to be killed off pretty much the same time. Well, that would mean you would have to spread it by mankind. That would mean that you would probably have to spread it by shooting it out of the back of an airplane as you're flying overhead. Kind of like we showed, I think it was yesterday or the day before the program, remember, where they were showing, proving that they are spraying. Look, all you got to do is get this into a plane and fly it over the area. The birds get it, or another time the people get it, okay? The last thing I can show today is this. I asked the lady for a link, and she says, it just popped up on my phone. It says more than 60 tons of ground beef products recalled nationwide. I'm telling you, the Moloch and Baal worshippers don't like the fact that they're being removed from their swift financial robbery system. They don't like being arrested. They don't like to be tried and executed, which some places say that is what is happening. They don't like that. So they're fighting back. Like they told Benjamin Fulford, we've ruled this planet for thousands of years. We'll destroy it rather than give it up. All of this is destroying it. Now, remember Revelation 6:1, I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, I heard it as it were the noise of thunder. I don't think we're in the tribulation yet. We haven't heard the noise of thunder. But we can tell we're getting pretty close, because if you look, and then I saw, and there went in another horse that was white, and I'm starting to hear, okay, let's see, how's it go? And behold, a white horse, and he that sat behind him had a bow, and a crown was given him, and he went forth conquering to conquer. We're seeing war and rumors of war starting. Then you go to the second horse. I saw there went another horse that was red. Powers given him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and to him was given a great sword. All of that is getting ready to start. All of this is because there is a great battle between Ancient of Days and Lucifer, or Jesus and the Antichrist, or between darkness and light, or Democrats and Republicans. It's all the same battle, and we are stuck in the middle. And if we don't have Jesus in our heart, my brothers and sisters, you've already lost the battle. If you don't know there's a battle, if you haven't already chosen the righteous one, the Holy One of Israel, the Son of God, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, if you've not already chosen Jesus to be your Lord and Savior, you've already lost the battle. The battle only begins when you accept him. Ask Jesus to come into your heart. Just say, Jesus, be my God. It's as simple as that. Now, if you want to get a Berkey water filter, here's the simple way. Go to prophecyclub.com, click on Berkey's, and I recommend at least getting this one at a minimum. This is a Berkey with 2 water filters. You actually probably want to get one with 4 water filters. More water filters, more water you can filter before it clogs. Then, a lot of people, we're being told by the office here, are getting this Imperial Berkey. The one that I have is the Crown Berkey, which I was just told today, we're out of the Crown. But we placed another order, and I think she said here in a few days we'll be getting another order in. So if we're out immediately, we got some more coming. Also, if you're interested in getting food so you can eat in the days ahead, we'll send you Joseph's Kitchen. What you want to do there is first go to get yourself a machines package that helps you to grind your berries into flour in 30 seconds. You put that and 6 other ingredients like olive oil into the bread machine, push a button, 2 hours and 20 minutes later, you got a nice hot steaming loaf of very nutritious, wonderful tasting bread. And it's probably the best famine food out there. And the thing of it is most of these places, go check me, okay? You'll find out I'm right. These places sell freeze-dried food or long-term storage food, emergency food, whatever you want to call it. Most of those are around $10,000 for one person, 1 year. You got that? $10,000, one person, 1 year. I'll say it again. $10,000 for one person, feed one person for 1 year. Joseph's Kitchen can show you how to do it for in the ballpark of about $1,000 a year. Around $2,000 feeds 2 people for a year, and so on. So the next thing, after you get the machines package, then you have to decide, okay, how much food do I want? I want food for 2 people, 6 people, 1 person, 4 persons, whatever you want, and then place that order. And we are a little bit behind, but we're catching up. Then, now, I cannot verify that this is really one of the Moloch and Baal worshippers. I shouldn't say that name. But it says, I highly advise you to put half of your future cryptocurrency gains into physical silver and gold coins. Well, that's pretty good advice. I mean, of course, the thing of it is you can't eat a gold and silver coin, but then you probably can't drive up to a gas station and get yourself a tank of gas offering them a loaf of bread. So there's a place for gold coins, silver coins, and there's a place for bread. There's a place for EMP shield. Now, keep in mind, Shane Warren said he heard the audible voice of God say that silver is going to skyrocket far more than gold. And we've had Terry Saka on to explain why that is. If you're thinking about getting gold and silver, we'll send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. They love Prophecy Club people because you're so much more informed than the average people out there. And if you're thinking about getting an EMP device, here's where we'll send you. Now, this is what they look like, okay, an EMP device. It's simple to hook up. They got videos on the site. Essentially, all you do is you open your trunk lid, you wire the red to the red side of the battery, the black wire to the black side of the battery, and then the green one you hook up to the body of your car. This is one for the car, and it's not hard to install at all. On the back, there's a peel off and stick. So you kind of just clean a little place on the inside of your car someplace, stick it there, hook it up. If it takes you longer than 10 minutes, that means you're not a mechanic like me. And it didn't take me 10 minutes. They also have them for your home too. And if you go to empshield.com, if you'll enter the promo code Prophecy, then they're going to give you a 50% discount. And yes, it helps your Prophecy Club. So there you go. In 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation. I was shown a secret door that links the feasts to the prophecies of Revelation. For the first time, the book of Revelation can be understood. It can be put in correct chronological order. I got 30 revelations, 2 visions, and 1 audible voice. One prophetic word said, there's a lock that I put over a word in Revelation that I'm going to open to you, and it will turn many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. This is the granddaddy. If you want to understand Bible prophecy, that's the book to get. Miss the mark. Well, what is the most important information every beating heart on the globe needs to know? Well, after except Jesus, of course, it would be don't take the mark of the beast. Because those taking the mark of the beast do not get soul death, but they're tossed into the lake that burns with fire and brimstone for all eternity with the beast, the false prophet, and 1,000 years later, Lucifer, and they have no escape. Miss the Mark is the book you give to people that you love, you don't want to see tossed into the lake of fire. God's warnings to America explains the modern dreams and visions and audible voices I believe are from God. Dimitri Duduman, Michael Boldea, Leslie Johnson, Henry Gruber, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Maurice Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, Bree Keaton, and much more. Tribulation Secrets in Daniel explains how to spot the Antichrist early and what to do. His physical appearance, sound of his voice, how he rises to power, the fact that Nebuchadnezzar will be a resurrected Antichrist and beast. He rises from the bottomless pit, explains the 7 final world governments. How pre-trib won. How the big lie beat the truth, and the people would have it so. It settles the rapture question, why pastors teach pre-trib. It explains how the 501c3 board members actually hire, fire, and tell the preacher what he is going or is not going to preach. It also covers the secret door, what is the morning star, what is the wrath of God, eternity entering time, who are the nations, what is an overcomer, proof of the post-trib, and 25 pre-trib questions answered. It will answer the question for you about the rapture. I'm going to show you how I make wheat bread in about 60 seconds. Now, it actually takes 2 hours and 30 minutes, including organizing all of the ingredients, which I have already put together. So first thing I do is I turn on the mill. I let it wind up. I put in 4 cups of wheat berries. That's what the wheat berries look like. They're just seeds. You can see what they look like. That takes about 30 seconds. That's turning the seeds into flour, real flour, the way God intended it. Always let it spin up before you put the wheat in. Now to keep it a little quieter, I'm going to put the lid on. There you go. That's it. 30 seconds, took 4 cups of wheat berries and turned it into flour. Now, I take the wheat flour right here. Nice wheat flour. I'm afraid to tip it too much, but there you go, wheat flour. This is, as it says here, water, salt, honey, olive oil, and 2 eggs. And this is the thermometer that is reading 100 degrees. We even send you the thermometer. Then we pour it into the bread machine. Then we pour the wheat on top. Then we put in the lecithin and the yeast. So I have added the flour here. Now, what I do is first of all, I add a tablespoon. Actually, it says 2 tablespoons. This way I do it, though. A pretty good helping spoon, and I just put that off to the side. Then I move the flour around, and I dig a little pit for the yeast. And I keep the yeast in a sealed container. It goes bad if you just put it in the refrigerator just in the bag. So then I put a tablespoon of yeast right in the little grave, and I cover that up. And I'm done except for setting it. So now I open the bread machine. I put all of the, well, take the thing off. I don't want to cook that. Put this in the bread machine. I already have the bread machine preset to the settings that I want. Okay, so then I push here and I go up to number 12. There. And that didn't seat good. There. 12, and then I push play or go. 2 hours and 20 minutes from now, I will have a nice, hot, steaming loaf of bread. Total time, 2 hours, 30 minutes. My time, 10 minutes. josephskitchen.com. josephskitchen.com. It's God's famine food. It is the cheapest way that 2 people can live in a time of famine. josephskitchen.com. So now our bread is finished cooking, and this is what it looks like now that it is all finished cooking. And it is a perfect loaf. Then what we do is we take this loaf out, which it's too hot for me to touch, so I'm not going to take it out right now. But what we would do is put it in this bread slicer. The bread slicer comes with your mechanics package, and then you just put this in here and slice your bread like that. I also, the knife comes with it. We do not apply the bread box, but I do recommend you have a bread box. And then what you want to do is keep your bread in the bread box like this. You want to keep the light off of it and keep it moist. And I wanted to also show you what it is, the difference between whole wheat bread and the stuff in the store. Okay, so this is a 1 pound loaf I just bought in the store. That's 1 pound, okay, compared to, if I can get this, 3 pounds. This is a 3 pound loaf. In other words, this actually has some weight to it. Why? Because it's not all air. It's actually nutrition. This is not. Now, I want to compare one of the slices. So this is one of the slices from the nothing bread. This is one of the slices from my bread. You can see the difference. See that? 2 slices of this a day sustains a person. Probably a half a loaf, probably a whole loaf every day would not sustain a person because there's nothing to it. The nutrition part of it has been taken out. So if you look at the difference here, that's the reason we say 2 of these kind of slices is a meal and it sustains you. So I suggest that you take this out. Again, it's too hot for me to take out yet. I mean, I can dump it out, but take it out, put it in the slicer, slice it up, put it in the bread box. The bread box is not part of the mechanicals, so you have to choose one, and you'll probably have to choose a large one because the loaves that come out of this are so much larger. Anyway, so it's excellent bread. Terry Saka is a prophecy student, and he reads his King James Bible, and he believes in winning souls so much he is supporting the Prophecy Club so that we can win more souls. So if you want to support someone that loves prophecy and wants to win souls, I'm going to send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com, where you can get all sorts of precious metals, gold, silver, rhodium, palladium, and things like that. cornerstoneassetmetals.com. So what we're asking you to do today is to get this book in DVD. Now, hang on. I'm going to put a challenge out there. I've had several emails come to me lately, and people will be repenting. I've been watching you for years, and I never sent a donation until right now, and oh, I'm really sorry. I know I should have a long time ago. But anyway, here's my donation. So let me first speak to all of the people that have never supported this ministry. I'm going to ask you this time to consider supporting it. And it's not about money. I want to get you excited about proving that the Bible is true. I think you will be so amazed by this book. It's book and DVD. This book is just high. Well, here's the picture of what we were just talking about. High quality, full color photographs, 8.5 by 11, big. I mean, really nice stuff. And when I saw this book, I said, I got to have it. I got to have it because I've been there. I mean, Leslie and I've been there. We know this stuff's true. We've been there. You know, we got our own photographs, a lot of this stuff. This, if we really are in the last days, and I think we both believe we are, then, see, God has put archaeological evidence into the earth to convince those people that will be convinced. Some people you never convince. And what this book and DVD are is giving you the ability to put in your hands the ability to explain the validity and the truth of the Bible. Now, here's what we're asking, okay? So the book is $75, but you can buy your $3,000 airline ticket. You can go to Turkey. You can go to Israel. You can spend $4,000 or $5,000 looking for this stuff. You won't find it. You will not find them. I'll tell you right now. You will not find the things that are in this book because you won't have God guiding you and directing you. Some places you can't even get into today. So for $75 for that book, bargain. It's about winning souls. Now this is a 3.5-hour double DVD. That's only one disc. It's not two discs. It's one disc, but it's a double layer. It's 3.5 hours, and this explains the things that are in the book. So you need both. Don't think about getting one or the other. Get both. So we're doing this. The DVD is $50. The book is $75, but you can get both of them for a $100 donation at prophecyclub.com. Now, I got the box behind me to show you. We just got them in. We just got them in at the warehouse, and we are all ready to ship book and DVD. All you got to do is go to prophecyclub.com and place your order, and if you want to, you can even have them overnighted to you. Berkey water filters have arrived. You see, most companies these days are out of Berkey water filters, but we just got a new shipment. Berkey water filters at prophecyclub.com. The good news is EMP Shield has devices the military testing facility says protect 100% against EMP, solar flares, lightning, power surges, backed by a 10-year warranty and a $25,000 insurance policy. View simple video installation instructions for home, vehicles, RV. You can have electricity in a blackout. Use the promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card, and it helps your prophecy. Click like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend.